Thanks for staying with us. Nearly 6 million Africans live without electricity access. And while Africa may have the most potential to generate solar power, according to International Energy Agency, the continent lags behind installed capacity. Husk Power secures over $100 million in equity and debt to boost growth of community solar mini-grids in rural sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. William Brandt, Chief Marketing Officer for Husk Power Systems, joins us. Good afternoon, William. This funding is quite huge. Can you explain how you plan to use it?
It's great to join you, Will. Thanks for having me. So it's a big deal for us as a company. It's also a big deal for the industry that we represent, the mini-grid industry. It's a clear signal to governments, to investors, that we are a bankable, ready for infrastructure level investment industry now today. And it's going to be exciting to see where we go from here. For Husk in particular, we're going to use over 2/3 of our equity to invest in expanding in sub-Saharan Africa. And that's going to be largely focused on Nigeria. You mentioned that there are 600 million people in sub-Saharan Africa without access to electricity. 90 million of them are in Nigeria. We're going to take a lot of that equity and some of the debt and put it to work in Nigeria. The goal is to add 1,400 new mini-grids to our fleet. We currently have 200, so an 8x growth from where we are today. And a lot of that growth is going to happen in Nigeria. We're also committed to entering additional markets in sub-Saharan Africa, with the Democratic Republic of Congo top of our list, but also 3-4 other countries as well to follow. So it's going to be a really exciting growth phase for the industry coming up. But I should also say that the industry has yet to achieve its full potential. The World Bank says that mini grids like the ones that we make and operate are the most cost-effective, fastest way to electrify 380 million people in sub-Saharan Africa. Yet we're only scratching the surface of what we need to do. 160,000 mini grids need to be built with billions of dollars of financing. So this is a step in the right direction, but we still have a lot more work to do.
Definitely a lot more work to do, saying that Africans, especially the rural population, are quite difficult to adapt to new things, especially when they're not very familiar with it. But I would just want to know how you intend to get that population to adopt this new energy source. Do you have any strategy?
Well, we already have 15 mini-grids in Nigeria, and we plan to add another 60 next year with the goal eventually of getting to 1,000. That's our goal for Nigeria. Overall, for sub-Saharan Africa, it's 2,500 mini-grids. And, the customers are adapting to and adopting our mini-grids very well. For a small and medium-sized enterprise in the communities that we serve, which are mostly rural, they see a 30 to 50% cost savings overnight by switching from diesel generation to solar electricity. So there's a immediate value inherent in what we do. And it's interesting. I mean, we're actually providing more reliable electricity to rural Nigeria than most urban Nigerians are getting from the discos in the cities. And even though, maybe our customers don't know that, they immediately expect that level of service. And we're delivering that level of service, both to small enterprises and to households. So we're already seeing exceptional uptake, with the majority of households in the communities that we serve taking up the electricity that we're providing.
Oh, you mentioned that you're serving more rural communities than the urban communities, especially in Nigeria. But the rural dwellers, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, are very low-income earners in terms of their earning power. But what steps have you taken to ensure that the project is commercially viable for us and for investors alike with respect to the tariffs and the minimum vending structure?
Right. So, Husk started 15 years ago, and we were the category creator, essentially, starting in India. We've learned a lot of hard lessons over the years to get where we are today. In terms of affordability, our customers see value in what they're getting. It's not just about the cost, but also the value that they're getting, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of cost savings and ability to invest in new businesses and grow their existing businesses. We are governed just like any other distribution company in Nigeria by the Regulatory Commission. And they vet all of our tariffs that we charge, which are cost reflective, just like the discos. So we have a clear line of sight in what we are allowed to do based on the regulatory framework in Nigeria for Minigrids, which is exceptionally mature and quite robust. So we're well covered there. And as I said, we see a level of uptake that's already indicating that we'll be able to get to significant numbers of connections. We estimate that this new funding will get us to 300,000 new connections. A lot of those will be small businesses in sub-Saharan Africa. But I should also say that one of the other aspects that we provide electricity, but it's more than that. We're also coming into the communities and providing financing and sales of both households and commercial appliances so that consumers can actually use the electricity for more productive uses, grow the economy, improve their livelihoods. And we're also introducing energy services into the communities that we're serving. For example, we're piloting in Nigeria right now e-motorcycles with leasing and battery swapping, and also agro-processing hubs. So we have an integrated approach to really try and drive rural industrialization and bring our communities along with us. This is a long-term relationship. Providing electricity is the first step, but we have to go further and grow with them into economic well-being. Okay,
definitely. We know that scaling up solar in Africa has its challenges that one has to face as a company, and I believe Husk is doing all that it can. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you so much.